Alright, it's time to cover Chapter 6. I think I'll have fun with this one. There's some really high highs, but also some incredibly low lows. Still pretty clear that this chapter was kinda transitioning back into a full narrative, but that's okay. I've played Chapter 7, and so far it's been really good. Oh, what's that? Epic fired 1,000 employees, including the narrative director? So, in the last season, we went to Chapter 2 for no intelligent reason. But, instead of being peak, it was turned into a gangsta's paradise. After a concert that only serves to prove that Epic can do better than Travis Scott, we find ourselves on a brand new island called Onanoshima. Since Hope and Jones visiting Japan wouldn't make a very interesting season, a 0-point shard comes with us and crashes onto the island. This reawakens long-dormant magic on the island, causing spirit realm portals to open and demons to invade, which, in my opinion, is an allegory for the horrors that happen when white people visit Japan. In addition to our main duo, we meet 3 new characters from Oninoshima: Daigo, the loner otaku who spends all his time making masks in his goon cave; Jade, a tree hugger obsessed with sprites; and Kendo, the biggest fraud you'll ever meet. Our villain this season is Shogun X, who I will henceforth refer to as Elon Musk. With the help of Hope, Kendo finds pieces of the 0-point, which he forges into the Splinter Blades. He uses them to defeat the demon that was controlling the Night Rose, because for some reason he thinks that will save Jade, who was kidnapped by Elon Musk after she did some spirit shenanigans with a mask Daigo gave her. Night Rose is far too lazy to do that though, so she gives the blades to Daigo, who makes some more masks because that worked so well the last time he did it. He performs a spell to free Jade from the spirit realm, but instead Elon Musk shows up for a 1v1, which Daigo wins. Somehow, killing Elon Musk overloaded the spirit portals and freed Jade, who tells us that the 0-point shard is being controlled by a dark presence who's targeting Daigo. Boy, I sure wonder what he's going to do after learning that information. So, after Elon Musk's death, the portal covered a large area of the island in gold. This attracted Fletcher King, who quickly established a monopoly on gold reserves, and basically speedran his way to becoming the most unethical billionaire possible. This led a bunch of other criminals to start stealing from him, because that's kind of the attention you're inviting when you become the richest person alive. Midas shows up because apparently he's related to Fletcher Kane, and because Epic wants people to care about this season. He helps the Outlaws establish the black markets completely for free, which rightfully leads them to question what exactly his motives are if he's not trying to turn a profit. This season also introduced everyone's least favorite character, and world's biggest industry plant, Big Dill. He does nothing but make promises to bring on the mayhem, and yet said mayhem never comes. Kane continues to piss people off by making them pay taxes, a first for many Fortnite players. So Midas decides it's time to take him down for good. He finds out that Daigo is working with Kane for unknown reasons, which surprises me because I would have thought he hated billionaires after killing Elon Musk. But apparently he needs a fuck ton of gold, so Daigo promised Kane unlimited power if he made him rich. After listening in on some secret phone calls, we learn that Daigo used the gold to make a mask powerful enough to get back into the spirit realm. Because he's incredibly stupid, Daigo reopens a spirit portal and goes inside to solo the Dark Presence. This gets him mind-controlled immediately and reforged into a demon soldier. Good job, Daigo, you really showed him. Honestly, this is actually an interesting story. So the last thing we need right now is Epic trying to find a way to ruin. Right. This happened. For some reason, Epic decided that what the players needed was a full Star Wars season. That's fun. So I bet you're wondering why the Galactic Empire is here. Well, so am I. I guess Epic was inspired to do some Rise of Skywalker writing and just say, somehow Star Wars came to Fortnite. No more need for logical explanations for collab tie-ins. They were just contrived anyway. What's that? You want to know what happens this season? Okay, I guess. Basically, the Death Star shows up and wants to blast the island for no reason. It's not even because of the 0 point. That doesn't really exist anymore. There's genuinely just no reason for it. But, as expected, it's up to our heroes to stop this so we can get back to the actually interesting story. Nothing important actually happens until the event where we just do a bootleg version of Operation Skyfire and infiltrate the Death Star. Everyone basically just dicks around for a few minutes until Luke explodes the whole thing, and debris starts falling down across the island. Some of that debris hits the demon portals, which open up again, causing a massive shockwave and giving everyone superpowers. Alright, after that brief interlude, we can finally get back to stuff that actually matters. Some Islanders have obtained superpowers, so Jones and Hope start an academy to train them. Surprisingly, Midas stuck around after Season 2, partly to fund the Hero Academy, and partly to make a portal to the Vault for reasons that will be revealed later. Now, who is our villain of the season? Well, Daigo's back, and he's 100% more mind-controlled than before. After Masked Meadows was destroyed by the Death Star, or maybe Daigo just nuked it, I'm not really sure, Daigo transforms the place into his evil villain lair. Seaport City also becomes futuristic for some reason, and no one knows why, but the Star Wars POIs are still here. Epic actually did something interesting this season by making an entire game mode to experience the story. In LEGO Expeditions, you get to play as the superheroes and go on missions to stop Daigo and his forces from taking over the island. This is actually really cool, so I can't wait to see how this mode gets updated for the next seasons. This season, the winner of the Random Character We're Bringing Back lottery is Core. If you're wondering why this random former IO agent is teaming up with Daigo, don't ask. Her goals are clearly beyond your understanding. Core and Daigo launch an attack on Supernova Academy, which harms exactly nobody, but at least they destroyed their infrastructure, I guess. Meanwhile, in another reality, Walter White has modified a prop rocket, and he's about to launch— Wait, didn't I do this 5 videos ago? Oh wait, this is the new OG timeline. I guess I'll call this new visitor Alter White. Get it? Does anyone even remember why I called him that? Well, Alter White launches his rocket, but this time it gets interfered with by a red rift butterfly, which makes all the rifts red. Guess we'll see if that goes anywhere. Back on Oninoshima, Daigo is finally ready to execute his plan, and coincidentally, the supernovas are ready to face him. So, Daigo opens a portal to summon a massive hentai tentacle monster out of the spirit realm. His reward for doing this is to immediately get knocked out, which breaks his mind control. That's lucky. We should have tried smacking Daigo over the head with a pan. But now the tentacle is attacking, so everyone starts fighting it. The supernovas do actual meaningful damage, while we all get guns to make it feel like we're helping. After a while, we finally cut off the tentacle, but unsurprisingly, the creature has more tentacles where that came from. So now we have to fight 3. Well, strap in. We're gonna have to give everything we— Oh, never mind. Superman just came and got rid of them immediately. And destroyed all the spires that were keeping the portal open. Hey, why didn't he do that earlier? Anyway, turns out the tentacle we cut off was infested with bugs. So now we've got a full insect invasion on our hands. This is gonna be shocking. And awesome. This is mid and boring. Where's the shock? Where's the awesome? Looks like it's nowhere to be found because all I see is the most OP combination of medallions in history. These medallions were so despised that Epic had to actually remove them from the game to make people happy. Great idea. Now what content are we putting in to replace them? Well, this season the island has been taken over by demon bugs. But don't worry. A random faction called Oxer has spawned out of nowhere to stop them. It seems like the bugs are starting to overwhelm Oxer, so they bring in the Megazord to help fight. And now, all of a sudden, the bugs are just gone? Are you trying to tell me the day was saved instantly by a collab again? Wait, this is confusing. Let's hop over to Expeditions to see what's really going on. What do you mean we're still fighting Daigo minions as the supernovas? They didn't update the mode? Nice going, Epic. I bet that one's going to last a long time. Anyway, it seems like the veil between the spirit realm and Oninoshima is weakening, and the dark presence might finally be able to invade the island. A treehouse appears on the map, but that's probably not important. Meanwhile, in another reality, the red rifts from Alter White's rocket have corrupted and form a cube, but this time, it's red. It does the exact same thing of depositing energy and drowning itself in a lake, but this time when the cube rises beneath the island, it's purple? Alright, that's fine. Guess we weren't doing a diverging timeline after all. The newly purple cube explodes, sending us to the in-between where apparently the red cube is just hanging out. Okay, not sure what's really going on here, but now it's time for the event. This should be exciting because the leakers told us that this was going to be a big event. Seriously, this is apparently what lore fans have been waiting for. Okay, let's see it. So we spawn at the treehouse where there's some weird anomaly going on. There's also some random aliens flying around, but they're probably not important. Hope and Jones arrive and use the rift gun to close the anomaly, but guess what? It actually makes it worse, and the dark presence escapes the spirit realm. We get about 10 seconds of him looking cool as fuck before... Wait, what's happening? Why are we in a cartoon? Why does everyone look like The Simpsons? Well, Hope and Jones get abducted by the aliens from The Simpsons, who apparently want to fuck the dark presence. They try using the UFO to steal the Zero Shard, but they only break off a tiny piece before the presence uses a portal-making ability that we'll never see again, to send them to who knows where. Hope and the aliens fight over whether to go to Springfield or go back to the island, which naturally sends them to a combination of Springfield and the island. Good God. What the actual fuck is this game? Look, I don't care that this season was almost universally liked among the player base. That was mostly for gameplay, which these videos aren't about. I wish I could genuinely skip this and say nothing happens, but the problem is that this was actually one of the most story-focused seasons ever. So, the Zero Point Shard fuses with Homer Simpson's TV remote, turning it into a device that can change aspects of reality at the push of a button. Homer decides he's going to use it to make Springfield better, even though a lot of what happens is objectively worse. Homer uses the shard to create an unapproved crossover with Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, which angers the townspeople, forcing him to take the shard and toss it into the nuclear reactor. After falling into the reactor, the nuclear plant explodes, sending multiple mindless Homer clones across the island. People start, rightfully, killing these clones, which reconstitute into a giant naked version of Homer Simpson. He burps out the shard, and since he's still huge, Hope decides to use him to fight the dark presence back on Oninoshima. Jesus, that was hard to get through. But now it's time for the actual event lore fans have been waiting for, 0 Hour. So, Hope and Jones use a device to send out a message across the Omniverse, asking for help in defeating the dark presence. Jones tries teleporting us all back to the island, but he messes up some calibrations, which send us through multiple dimensions to tease various collabs. When we finally get back, it seems like the dark presence has taken the whole place over, and it's time to take the fight to him. Jones summons all the collabs, and yes, I mean all the collabs, to fight, resulting in what has to be the most ambitious crossover in media history. We ride helicopters with the K-pop Demon Hunters, ride on the bride's motorcycle, and Miku and Godzilla do a beam of friendship. Unfortunately, it seems like the dark presence is winning, so Jones summons the red cube he had no way of knowing about to finish the job. Mecha Team Leader shows up to kick the cube into him, finally ending the dark presence for good. Wonder who was piloting that? Jones and Hope take possession of the Zero Shard and take it to the only place they know it will be safe, the United States of America. Well, that was Chapter 6. A pretty interesting story that was interrupted by collab mini-seasons nobody asked for. We're still only 2 seasons into Chapter 7, but if there are no mini-seasons, it'll be a massive step up. I'm actually excited to make that video, because we're finally returning to some of Fortnite's original story characters, like the Seven and the Last Reality. Well, that's it for now, and I'll see you later.